Hello and welcome to Lantern Lane Stories. Tonight's story is Little Frida and the Blue House. In Mexico City, there is a neighborhood called Coyoacán. The streets there are made of old, uneven stones. In the morning, they shine with dew. On one of those streets stood a house painted the brightest blue. Not sky blue, not baby blue. This was cobalt blue, the deep, loud blue of a summer sea at noon. The house had thick walls. They kept it cool inside, even when the sun blazed. The big courtyard in the middle smelled of wet earth and bougainvillea. A jacaranda tree grew in one corner of the courtyard. In spring, its purple flowers fell like soft snow onto the stones below. In this house in the year 1907, a girl was born. Her name was Frida Kahlo. By the time she was 6, Frida could run faster than most children on her street. She had dark, quick eyes, and there was always mud on her shoes. She liked to chase the lizards that sunned themselves on the warm courtyard stones. She liked to pull a marigold from her mother's garden and hold it up to the light. "What do you see?" her older sister Matilde asked once. "Little orange lanterns," said Frida. "Each petal is a lantern." Matilda laughed and walked on. Frida kept looking. Then came a morning in 1913 when Frida woke up and could not stand. Her right leg ached from her hip to her ankle. The ache was deep and strange. It was not like a bruise. It felt like something was wrong inside the bone itself. The doctor came. He pressed her leg gently. Then he spoke in a quiet voice to her parents. "Polio," he said. That was the name of the sickness. It attacked the muscles and could leave them weak forever. Frida had to stay in bed. Not for a day, not for a week, for 9 long months. Her mother hung a small mirror above the bed so Frida could see the courtyard without leaving her room. It was a little window onto the world. Outside, she could hear her friends' running feet on the cobblestones, the slap of a rubber ball against a wall, laughter she could not be part of. One afternoon, Frida pressed her hand against the cold window pane beside her bed. She breathed on the glass. A soft fog spread across it. She drew in the fog with one finger a small square, 2 lines inside. A door. She imagined a girl on the other side of that tiny fog door. A girl who could run anywhere she wanted, who never had to stay in bed. Every morning after that, Frida breathed on the window and opened her little door. But she also began to notice something new. The jacaranda tree, she had run past it 100 times. Now, watching it in the mirror, she had time. Its bark was the color of old silver, its branches twisted in a slow spiral she had never noticed before. A hummingbird visited the bougainvillea every morning at almost exactly the same time. Its throat was the color of a glowing coal. Frida watched. She had nothing else to do but watch. And watching, she discovered, was a very full thing to do. Frida's father was named Guillermo Kahlo. He was a photographer. He was a quiet man with gentle hands and a trim beard. Every morning he left the blue house with his large wooden camera balanced on one shoulder. He photographed ancient ruins. He photographed market women with baskets on their heads. He photographed the faces of ordinary people on ordinary days. He smelled, when he came home, of the sharp chemicals he used to develop his photographs. It was a cool smell, like rain on stone. When Frida was sick, he came to sit beside her bed each evening. One night, he walked in with something cupped carefully in both hands. He opened his palms. A beetle sat there, large with a shell that shone green and gold in the lamplight. Describe it to me, her father said. Every detail. Take all the time you need. Frida leaned closer. It is small enough to sit on my thumbnail, she said slowly. Its shell looks like a drop of oil in a puddle. Green, then gold, then green again when I tilt my head. Keep going, said her father. Its legs are thin like bent pins, and it has tiny hairs on them, tiny ones. She squinted, and the air around it smells like the garden. Good, said her father. Now draw it. He gave her a pencil and a sheet of paper. The beetle sat still on the folded edge of her blanket. Frida drew one leg, then another, then the oval dome of the shell, the tiny hairs. It was not a beautiful drawing, but it looked like that beetle. That exact beetle on that exact evening. She held it up. Something warm spread through her chest, not quite pride, more like recognition, like she had found something she was made to do. Her father brought other things after that. A pigeon feather, white at the base, gray in the middle, dark at the tip. A small stone from the market, orange, with a white stripe running through it like a frozen river. A dried chili pod, dark red and wrinkled as old leather. Each time he asked her to describe first, then to draw. Each time Frida looked harder and drew closer to what was truly there. By the time Frida could leave her bed, 9 months had passed. Her right leg was thinner than her left. She walked now with a small limp. The first day she stepped into the courtyard. She stood still and breathed the warm air. It smelled of sun-heated stone and jasmine and something green she had missed very much. Some children on her street noticed how she walked. One afternoon, a boy said something unkind. Frida stopped walking. She stood very straight. She looked at the boy with her dark eyes until he looked away. Then she went home. Her mother carried a small wooden stool to the courtyard and placed it in the shade of the jacaranda tree. Sit, said her mother quietly. Draw. Frida sat. She took out her pencil and paper. A dragonfly landed on the rim of the stone fountain. Its wings were thin as a whisper. When a breeze moved through the courtyard, they flickered between blue and silver and green all at once. Frida drew the dragonfly before it could fly away. An iguana climbed to the top of the courtyard wall. It was gray-green with a ridge of scales running from its head to the tip of its tail. It turned one golden eye toward Frida and held absolutely still. Frida did not move. Neither did the iguana. They regarded each other for a long, quiet moment in the afternoon heat. Then Frida drew it. The light thickened and turned gold. She drew a bougainvillea blossom so carefully she could see every vein in every petal. She drew an ant carrying something 3 times its own weight across the warm flagstones. When her father came home that evening, he turned slowly through her pages. The dragonfly, the iguana, the blossom, the ant. You see, he said at last, the way a photographer sees. Frida shook her head. No, she said. I see the way a painter sees. Her father looked at her for a long moment. Then he laughed, a deep, warm laugh that filled the whole courtyard. He brought home paints the very next morning. Frida Kahlo grew up in that blue house. She lived in it most of her life. She painted in it always. She painted 181 paintings in her life. 55 of them were self-portraits, her own face, dark eyes, looking straight out at whoever was watching, steady and unafraid. She painted her animals, the spider monkeys who rode on her shoulders, the hairless Zolo dogs who slept at her feet, a deer she called Granizo. She painted the marigolds from her mother's garden and the warm blue of her own walls. Her paintings hang now in museums in New York, in Paris, in Tokyo, and in Mexico City. But the blue house still stands in Coyoacán. You can walk through its courtyard today. You can see the stone fountain where a dragonfly once held very still while a small girl held her breath and drew. You can see the window where a 6-year-old girl breathed fog onto the cold glass every morning and drew a tiny door, a door into a world she was determined to explore. Her brushes are still there. Her paints are still there. Her paintings fill every room of that house. The walls are still that deep, bright blue. And so, Mexico City also slowly fell asleep. Good night.